friggin' nuts!
A Sodor production. Thomas Wooden Railway Series Episode 34. Murdoch and the Chatterbox Engines. Murdoch is one of the island's strongest engines. He is a standard class 9F tender engine. The Fat Controller brought him to the island to pull and move freight on the main line. He has 10 big drive wheels and looks very strong. Thomas once said he was one of the biggest engines he had ever seen. One day, Murdoch had arrived back at the sheds after a hard day's work. Salty and Harvey were also there. The three engines slept in the same sheds together every single night, and so sometimes they can be a bit too talkative for Murdoch's liking. "It is good to be back in the warm sheds. The docks were a little too cold for my liking tonight," said Salty. Harvey chimed in. "Murdoch, did you pull any heavy trains today?" "What did you think of the sea along the coastal track?" asked Salty. Murdoch already felt overwhelmed by Salty and Harvey. "Please, I want to get some sleep and don't want to be kept awake by a couple of Chatterbox engines." Salty and Harvey looked hurt. "No need to be rude," said Harvey. The next morning, Murdoch was up and ready for work. The Fat Controller came to the sheds. "I have a busy day for you, Murdoch. Henry is due for some routine maintenance and will be out of order today." After hearing all the work that needed to be completed, Murdoch hurried out of the sheds to get started. He arrived at Knapford Station to pull Henry's morning passenger train. The big station was very loud with bustling passengers and workmen of the railway. Murdoch already had had enough and was cross as he wanted a peaceful start to his morning. He left the platform as soon as the green flag waved. He reached his final destination at Wellsworth Station. What he thought would be a peaceful rest quickly turned into the opposite. Bulgy the bus was there ready to collect his passengers. "Yeah, boo, snubs. Don't tell me they even have you pulling passengers. It's quicker to travel by road, you know. Sir Topham Hatt doesn't realize this." And Bulgy went on and on about roadways being better than the rails. Murdoch once again had had enough chatter and left his coaches along with Bulgy at the platform. He soon arrived at the sawmill and dumping depot to collect a train full of logs to take to Tidmouth sheds for repairs. But the sawmill was noisy. The sawmill itself was even busy cutting the logs. Trevor and Terrence were there as well and tugged around logs where they needed to be. Workmen hustled and shouted, and it was all just too much for Murdoch. Once again, he left as soon as his train was ready. Later that night, he arrived back at the sheds ready for a rest. To Murdoch's surprise, the sheds were empty. He was just about to snooze and fall asleep when Harvey and Salty returned to the sheds as well. "Ah, Murdoch, how were today's adventures?" said Salty. "Shh, he's sleeping," said Harvey. Murdoch wasn't asleep, but kept his eyes shut to appreciate his much-deserved peace and quiet. Even though Salty and Harvey can be Chatterbox engines every once in a while, they never will be as loud as a big station, an angry, grumbling bus, or the busy sawmill. And so we've come to the end of our story. Even though Murdoch can be annoyed by the two Chatterbox engines, I don't think there's anywhere else he'd rather sleep. Don't you?